What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to go over some stuff that I've been reading about real quick with you guys. Once again, I don't know if you guys saw my last video, which was 2011 Outdoor Grow number 2. You noticed that I mentioned with the trash can that I had, and I was filling it with water to evaporate some of the contaminants in the water. I think we've all heard about the chlorine evaporating away and whatnot. Again, LSV8 Dubs sent me some really good info regarding evaporation of water, chlorine evaporation and whatnot, and I kind of looked into it, and I did make some incorrect statements on my last video. At least it appears that way from what I've been reading right now. So I just wanted to share with you guys what I've learned, because I'm sure it'll be beneficial to someone out there. So basically, I mentioned that I was evaporating the water, which I had seen. I think I got the idea from Sam McConnell's channel, who's a really good outdoor grower. And I'd heard it from other places. You know, put your water out, and like 24 or 48 hours or whatever, and your chlorine will evaporate. A couple of people actually posted good questions saying, and I don't have the exact answers, but they're really good questions. They make a lot of sense. Saying that how come, you know, if the water evaporates, technically wouldn't that mean the ppms of whatever stays in the water would raise? Which makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's not like it doesn't seem like the minerals would evaporate as well. But so anyways, after a little bit of reading, LSVA Dubs sent me some really good links. If any of you guys want the links, just hit me up and I'll email them to you, whatever he sent me. But basically, there's a shitload of chlorine in the water, and that's always there. The water companies use this to the water companies use the chlorine to treat it. But lately, the chlorine only lasts so long in the pipes. So lately, they've been switching over to using chloramine, which is basically like chlorine and ammonia added together. And there's a couple different types of chloramine, but the main one is monochloramine. And the problem with this, or the benefit of this, is it lasts a lot longer. It doesn't break down as quickly, so it treats the water much longer. So that's why the companies have switched over to using it. The problem with it is that it doesn't evaporate like the chlorine does. So chlorine can evaporate, but chloramine does not evaporate. And so the problem is that obviously the chloramines, they're disinfectants. And this is a website from the EPA.gov, Environmental Protection Agency, so I do trust the info on this site. The chloramines are disinfectants, and they're, ammonia is added to chlorine, like I said. Anyways, what they do is they break down and kill bacteria. They break down the cell wall of the bacteria and kill it or something. So basically, if you're trying to run any bennies, beneficial bacteria or beneficial fungus or mycos or any of that crap, the chlorine in the water and the chloramine in the water is just essentially going to work against your bennies, whatever you're using. So what you want to do is figure out how to remove as many of the chloramines as possible. Evaporation basically does not remove any of this. The EPA says supposedly there are some ways here that I did find to actually remove chloramine from your water. This person said, which I don't believe this, but according to Wikipedia, well, maybe I believe it, but according to Wikipedia, chlorine can be removed from tap water by treatment with superchlorination. But it's like, why the fuck would you even post that? Who the fuck would superchlorinate? Why would you ever want? So what superchlorination means is putting 10 parts per million more of free chlorine, such as a dose from hypochlorite bleach or pool sanitizer. This is insanity. I don't know why the fuck anyone on earth would ever recommend using bleach or pool sanitizer to treat their water that was going onto their plants. I mean, if that's your thing, I guess, but I would never, ever, ever do that. That just sounds like a terrible idea. I can't believe it's on this Grass City forum. Anyways, I think that's a horrible, horrible idea. But let's see. One thing that you can do, I have a small boy filter, which many of you will know if you've seen my indoor grows. This is the filter that comes in with it, which is a typical carbon filter. And there's two white ones. There's a carbon filter and a sediment filter in the small boy. This is the carbon filter. And what you can do is, see, I was just rocking on this, and I have been for a while. And then when I went to Home Depot to replace it because it's cheaper than replacing this at the Hydro Shop. But now after reading all this crap, if you do go down and go ahead and when it's time to replace your filter, if you replace it with this KDF85 carbon filter as opposed to the standard carbon filter, it says this one removes up to 95% of chloramines in addition to hydrogen sulfide and iron and chlorine and all that other nonsense. The standard filter, I read that it said removes like 50 to 60% of chloramines, and this one supposedly removes like 95% of it. So in retrospect, probably what's going to happen is I'm probably going to bring my small boy filter over to the outdoor garden. I'm probably going to replace the standard filter carbon filter, which is this one that I have in there, with this KDF85, and that looks like it's probably going to be the best bet. What I might even do, this might be overkill, but I might just keep the trash can, bring the filter over, and just filter the water into the trash can, and then just let even more shit evaporate. If I can evaporate 100% of the chlorine, that would be wonderful. I know this shit takes a lot of the chlorine out, but I doubt it takes like 100%. It's probably like 98% or something like that. A little bit of evaporation would get rid of the rest of it. It's probably overkill, but whatever. I already have the trash can. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys some of these links about chlorine, chloramine in water, what it's doing. It's breaking down your beneficial bacteria, or it's breaking down bacteria in the water, which is good for your drinking water, but bad for your plants. So if anybody wants to read through these links, I'll be happy to send them to them. Just hit me up, send me a message. Again, big thanks out to LSVA Dubs. He's been hitting me up with some real good info. And a lot of other people as well have been hitting me up with some good info. There's also somebody that mentioned something about testing the pH of the soil runoff, which I'm going to be looking into as well. I appreciate that hint. And yeah, so hopefully this helps someone out there. If they didn't, if it helps them to want to dive in and learn more about their water sources and see what the hell's going on with their water sources. So right here, so this is the thing to take away from this right here, highlighted. Unlike chlorine, chloramine doesn't evaporate ever, so it will always inhibit growth, which is pretty much the gist of what I get from reading everything. It doesn't evaporate ever. There is ways to filter it out, most of it out, but it won't evaporate. So this evaporation thing, it'll help by getting rid of all the chlorine in your water, but it won't get rid of any chloramine in your water. So it's definitely only a step in the right direction, but filtering is probably better. Filtering and evaporation seems like maybe overkill, but it's probably the best, aside from full RO water or anything like that, but I don't have an RO system. So anyways, that's what I've learned. Alright, I hope it helps somebody out there. Later.